Hello all and welcome to my next video. We're just going to do a quick journey into monthlies here. Sorry, I got a little confused on the names. Um, Again, like I said, I'm going to try to do that, or these, and the pro wrestling crates as they come, as opposed to waiting to go through a whole mailbag, just because it's going to make things easier, as you can hear my dog going a little crazy over there. She's been mad all day. Anyways, yeah, so we're just going to take a quick look at uh, these monthlies. These are not for October. These are actually, I believe these are going to be for September. I sort of messed up my comic book schedule, and I forgot to place an order when I thought I had. So I didn't get August books until like the beginning of October, I think, or the middle of October, because I thought I had placed those orders for August and September already, because I always do pre-orders. And for whatever reason, I just didn't. I skipped one. And so basically, I'm like a bit of a month behind. But there's this one, and then hopefully within, I'd say, the next week or so, you'll see the ones for October. And then I'll be back on track. But yeah, I just kind of messed that up a little bit. I don't know why it kind of happened that way, but it did. So even though we're already, a couple of months, or more like a month and a week or so, but these are going to be for September 2021, not October. Normally these would be we would already be on October because it's the beginning of November. But like I said, I messed up. Hopefully that makes sense. Apologies if it doesn't. But yeah, we're just going to get into it. This is from Midtown. Again, I did the back of the box because the front of the box has the shipping address and everything, and I'd like to keep things private. So open this up. See what we got. I just almost. Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought I cut, um, like the like the books, but it was the bubble wrap. Okay. I hit the paper. I hit this. I hit like the packing paper thing that's in there, and I thought it was like a book. I was like, oh my god. Uh, no, we're good. Okay. Uh, so if you're not familiar with Midtown, they will bubble wrap and paper bag your books here. They used to have a brown bag that had the Midtown logo, but a couple of months ago, I think it was like when I did the first one of these, they started using white paper. Those are white paper bags. Very interesting. Um, Again, if you're not familiar with Midtown, you get a free bag and board with every comic. So, yay. What do we got here? Oh, we got a trade in this one. I forgot I ordered a trade. Okay. Cool. So we'll start with the trade. First up, we have X-Force Volume 3. This is Ben Percy's run. I've enjoyed X-Force. I do think it's probably not as good as Hickman's mainline book, but I've still enjoyed it. Mainly because I like the team. It's Wolverine, Beast, Colossus. That's pretty much all you got to have on a team to get me to like an X-Men book. So yeah, it's been pretty good. This is volume 3. I haven't been getting it because it is a bi-monthly book, and I try not to get books that are not bi-monthly, twice a month, bi-weekly. I try not to get books that are twice a month just because it can add up in cost. So usually if there's a book that I really want to get and it's twice a month, I wait for the trades. So that's why I'm barely on volume 3 here. But yeah, this one's a little bit thicker too, so I'll enjoy that. See how it continues. First up, we got X-Men Legends. Again, this has been a really good series. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of old, like 80s, 90s X-Men stories. I keep explaining it every time I open one of these, but just, to kind of refresh everybody, each arc is being written by an old X-Men writer, and it's kind of a part of their original run. Like it's a throwback to their original run. So like the first arc was Louise Simonson, and it was like a apocalypse story from back in like the late 80s. And then Peter David did an X Factor story in one of the arcs. And this one is, I believe this one is Larry Hama. Yeah, there it is. And he's doing a Wolverine Jubilee story. So, and we got Lady Deathstrike in there. So, pretty cool. I like it. I'll give this one a shot. To be fair, Wolverine is, even though I really like Wolverine, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this one as much. I'm not the biggest Jubilee fan. I think I've stated that before, but still, I want to keep this going just because I'm interested to see what other old writers they bring back to do arcs. So cool. We have the United States of Captain America. I can't remember if this is going to be the last issue or not. I can't remember if it's going to be 4, 5, or 6 issues. But it's been an interesting book. I think it's of the Captain America stuff we've had over the past few years, like Nick Spencer's Secret Empire, which I think is hated for weird reasons. Like I get why people don't like it, but at the same time, if you actually read it, it's a good story. And then of course, Ta-Nehisi Coates' run is really good. And then this is kind of the in-between to get to like the next run. And it's been okay. I like the idea. I'm not necessarily happy with the execution. Basically, there's like these different Captain Americas in different towns, and they're kind of like taking up their own mantle of Captain America after being inspired by Captain America. And there's somebody like hunting them down. And, you know, it's Steve Rogers and he's going after whoever's doing it. It's not bad, but I can't necessarily say it's great either. It started off really good. And then I think it kind of trickled off a little bit, but I'm going to finish it out just because I want to see where it goes and see what the lead into the next series is going to kind of be. We have Eternals, Thanos Rises. This is a one-shot, but it's part of Kieran Gillen's Eternals run, as you can see up there. His Eternals has been great. That movie, though. Yeah. I'm not going to say too much on that just because of, spoilers and stuff. But anyways, if you want something that's actually pretty good with the Eternals, this has been a great run. I like it. It's the first, I believe, 12 issues, and then there's a couple of one-shots. I think it's this one, and then there's another one-shot, and then it's going to go into, like, issue 13. I might be wrong on the numbering, but it's, like, the first big arc, and then a couple of one-shots, and then they're going into the next arc. So this is kind of one of those one-shots that's an in-betweener, and this one's about Thanos. So, yeah. Been pretty fun. Daredevil, been really good. There's... I guess everybody by now knows, spoiler if you don't, but like Elektra's back and she kind of became Daredevil. Matt Murdock's in prison. That's why it's called Lockdown. This has been really good. This is Zdarsky's run, Chip Zdarsky, and he's been doing really good. And I think Chip Zdarsky is kind of one of those under the radar good writers. He did like an Invaders story that was really good for a little while there. And then, what's his other one? He had a brief little kind of like friendlier Spider-Man kind of run. I can't remember. I think it might have been a Spectacular Spider-Man run, which was supposed to be pretty good. I didn't read it, but I've really enjoyed his work on Daredevil. So really cool there. This has been a great story. Kind of seeing like Matt Murdock out of his element, kind of locked up, kind of on the other side of justice, you could say. And it's very interesting. I won't go into too much detail because of spoilers, but highly recommend it. So yeah. What is that at the bottom? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the 20 years never forget 9/11 little thing. Okay, cool. We got Thor, number 17, Donny Cates' run. I've been pretty impressed by Donny Cates' run for the most part. I didn't have a lot of high hopes for it because I'm not the biggest fan of the stuff he had done with Venom, and that's kind of mostly what I knew of him. And of course, just to follow Jason Aaron's run is a daunting task because Jason Aaron kind of made Thor his own. Like, it's one of those things where if you think of Thor comic books, you're probably going to think of like Walt Simonson and Jason Aaron at this point. But Donny Cates' first arc with the dark, what is it, the Black Winter, the Dark Winter thing, was really good. Highly recommend that. Since then, I will say I do think it has tapered off a little bit, but mainly just because I feel like what's kind of been since then has been like little filler stuff, and I'm gonna stick with it just to kind of hope it picks back up because it is entertaining and like each individual issue has been great. But there really hasn't been any kind of overarching thing to sink my teeth into since that first arc, at least for me. That interests me, I should say. But still, I think he exceeded my expectations for his run, so fair enough. Keep it going. Surprisingly, this is actually my only DC book at the moment. Legends of the Dark Knight. Actually, I shouldn't say surprisingly. If you know me, I have talked many a times about how I just kind of am not a big fan of the general direction of DC's comics right now. I've gone into a lot of little mini rants on it, so I won't do that here. But I am getting Legends of the Dark Knight. They brought it back. It's a little bit different than before. Instead of having multiple stories, they're doing like mini arcs. So yeah, little mini arc stories. And I think this is the third arc. Pretty sure this is the third arc. So yeah, happy to get this one. I mainly, and if you might ask, like, well, why don't you get the main Batman book? Because the main Batman book's not that great at the moment, and it really hasn't been, I think, since, like the middle of Snyder's run. Because even though Scott Snyder did a lot of great stuff during the New 52, and I was not a big fan at all of the New 52, I do think his Batman is one of the shining things of that run. But towards the end, he did get kind of weird, and I'm not a big fan of all of his metal stuff. So, it is what it is. And I know James Tynion is doing it now. I'm not really fond of him as a writer either. Nothing against him, just, not my kind of style, I guess. I do kind of want to get Peter Tomasi's Detective Comics run. I've heard that's actually pretty good. And I'm a Tomasi fan, so who knows. But for now, really, the only thing that kind of feels like a classic Batman has been this. A throwback Batman comic, surprisingly enough. So, is what it is. Superman, Red, White, and Blue, or whatever, or Red and Blue, that ended. So, that was the only other DC book I was getting. Until something really pops up that catches my eye, I think there's not a lot there for me to really grasp, in terms of DC stuff. We have the Marvels. This has been pretty entertaining too. It's pretty much just different artists and like different takes on different like old Marvel kind of stories. There's one, I can't remember if it was last month or the month before, which was like a kind of like, I want to say it was like Winter Soldier in Vietnam or something like that. It was a really good story. And that's what it is. Each individual issue is kind of its own little thing. But I've really enjoyed it. They got the Alex Ross covers going. Kurt Busiek's doing it, which is great because he did the original Marvels, and all that stuff. So this has been really good. And lastly, fittingly, it's kind of last. I think a bit of a sleeper hit. I've enjoyed this book way more than I expected, and that is the new little Amazing Fantasy. It is only going to be 5 issues. You can see up there, number 3 of 5. But it's been fun. To me, I think like you could take this idea and run with it as like the new What If, or a multiverse kind of book, because basically it's taking different characters from different time periods and sticking them somewhere. So there's like World War II Captain America. There's like 70s Spider-Man, and then you have like young Black Widow, and they're all thrown into like this kind of alien Savage Land-esque world. It's really entertaining. So I recommend this one if you haven't gotten it, or wait for it. You might be able to wait at this point for a trade, since it's only going to be 5 issues. Wait a couple of months. Marvel usually gets their trades out pretty quickly, except for the X-Men books, which seems like they take those forever for those. But it is what it is. Yeah, I've enjoyed that. So I've enjoyed it. So pretty good. But that's all we got this month. I I can't remember. I think for October, there's a couple of books that are starting up I'm going to try to get and try out. But yeah, we have Amazing Fantasy, The Marvels, Legend of the Dark Knight, Thor, Daredevil, Eternals, Captain America, and X-Men Legends. It's weird every time... I talk about this too every time I do one of these boxings. Oh, and the X-Force Trade Volume 3. Every time I do one of these, I always look at the Daredevil comic, and I think about how, like, it's kind of the only book left I have that I've been getting for the past, like, 10 years. Just constantly, every single issue that has come out. Basically, when Mark Waid took over after Shadowland is when I started. And I haven't stopped since. And I don't know, it just, from a consistency standpoint, I think it's been great. It was Mark Waid, and then Charles Soule took over for a little while. His run is a little bit bumpy, but still pretty enjoyable. And then Zardsky's run has been great. So, yeah. Daredevil's still, like, kind of the OG in terms of when I started really collecting comic books again. Since then, it's like the one I'm still getting. Thor, a little bit. But I did stop getting single issues of Thor for a while, and I was getting it in trades. So Thor is like a close second, but yeah, Daredevil's still going strong there. But thank you. That's going to be it for this journey into monthlies. Like I said, hopefully within the next week and a half, you'll see the October monthlies because I got to get those in, or I'm waiting for those to get in, because I messed up my orders. My order, like, chain, I guess you could say. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you like this. You don't have to, but I appreciate anybody who does. And I will catch you guys in the next video.